called himself a prophet run away. Because God has no more prophets. There are no more apostles. The last apostle was John, and he died on the Isle of Patmos. I have a preacher who calls himself a cardinal. It's not going to be long before we're going to have a pope in the Black Baptist Church. Because bishop is not good enough. Cardinal is not going to be good enough after a while. After a while, we're going to have a pope. What's wrong with being pastor? What's wrong with just being a preacher? Everybody wants to have some special knowledge. God is not giving anybody any esoteric knowledge.
Giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua Shem Kahakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles, men of great millstone, and to the rest of the brothers known down as teaching and preaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Shalom by Yahshua Dabada, and to the Akim and Hakwata South them repenting, to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who fathers go back to one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob Yahshua, Shalom to you, Mashpachah. But you heard the damn weirdos. You heard him. These so-called modern-day Christians. Because when you go into that word Christian, it was always referring to Israelites, not this garbage that you see what's going on today. But I ain't finna go into that. But you heard what he said. He said, in these times, there are no more apostles. There are no more apostles. No more prophets. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Just finish, man. And then he made a statement that said that John, the Revelator, was out of the Patmos. He said he is the last apostle. What? What are you talking about? It was many men after John that was referred to. Hey, Paul was what during this time? Paul was referred to as an apostle. James, Yahweh's brother, he was referred to as an apostle. And as a matter of fact, let's just get a few of these real quick. And then but first I'm gonna go into, let's read this one first. Romans 1:1. Paul, a servant of Yahweh Mashiach, called to be an apostle, separate unto the gospel of Yahweh. Right? Now, when you go into the word apostle, it just simply means, basically a head teacher. That's what it means, But let's go down to it real quick. Slakia. Let's go down to it, right? Apostle. Apostolos. You see? And it says what? A delegate messenger, one sent forth with others, especially applied to the 12 apostles of Mashiach, and a broader sense applied to other eminent Israelite teachers. It says what? Other eminent Israelite teachers. It said of Barnabas, of Timothy, and Silvanus. See? So how was it talking about it ain't no more apostle? Hey man, it's just a word. It's just a word that's going into meaning something. You see what it said? A messenger, a teacher, a head teacher. That's all basically is it going into. It ain't no big deal. See? But you're going to make a statement that talking about it ain't no John was the last apostle, huh? And then saying the Most High ain't sent no more, ain't no more prophets, huh? That's why a lot of their asses don't understand the prophecy. See? That's why they don't understand prophecy. That's why they read stuff like Daniel, the 9th chapter, and start at the 25th or 24th verse, and they start talking about the rapture and the 7-year tribulation, because they don't understand nothing. They don't understand nothing. And then if they do go into it and they repeat it, it ain't because they understood. They just repeating it, and somebody told them, no, this is what this is talking about. But they didn't understand it at first. Because they all, to this very day, they still say that Daniel, the 9th chapter, the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th verse, oh, that was talking about, when it said the 70 weeks, that's talking about the time of during the time of the rapture, the 7-year tribulation. They'll say that. which shows you they don't understand nothing. When you ask these people, is America in the Bible? They'll say, no, America is not in the Bible. Well, who the fuck you think Babylon the Great is? Who you think Revelations, the 18th chapter, is talking about? The 17th chapter? Who you think it's talking about? They don't get it. They don't understand nothing. So you would hear individuals like this say, ain't no more prophets. Don't you know the prophecy is going to give you understanding of the prophecies? Because not every prophet of old, when those things is wrote down, what the Most High showed them, they didn't understand that. When going back to Daniel, Daniel also was one that didn't understand. He didn't fully understand it. So when you make statements like that and say, ain't no more prophets, well, evidently, what it says right there, as a matter of fact, let me grab it real quick. But you see what it says right here to this pertaining to apostle. But let's go get this, right? Shalakia. 1 Corinthians 14. And is it 32, 33? And what it says, it started at verse 31. For ye may all prophesy one by one, that all may learn, and all may be comforted. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Wait a minute. The spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. So the things the prophets of old wrote down, guess what? They're going to come back in this time now and do what? They're going to be speaking these same things. They're going to basically give you the understanding of what the prophets of old was writing about. What they wrote about. They're going to give you the understanding of what Yahweh Shema was showing them. See? Because a lot of the prophets of old, they didn't understand it. See? So it would have to be prophets that would have to come back into the earth and do what? What they're going to do? They're going to speak these things to you and give you understanding. You see? You listening to these pagan building preachers, a lot of y'all asses through, man. And you them suits and ties, you go perish with that suit and tie on. Cause y'all ain't nothing but some old plantation ass thinking the scriptures is written for everybody. That's what y'all think. Just through, right? But you see what it says. For the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Matter of fact, let me grab this. I'm gonna make this little point with Daniel, right? To show that Daniel received these visions, and guess what? He didn't understand them, right? Let me grab that, right? Let me see real quick. You see what he said right here at 15, right? Let's start at 14. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, this is concerning when Yahweh shall return. Now, did Yahweh shall return already? No. We waiting on him to return. And it says what? And languages should serve him, and not only they gonna serve Yahweh shall, they gonna serve him and his people. His dominion is the everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. See? Daniel was troubled by what he saw because why? He didn't understand it. Let's go down to the 28 and what he says right here. Once again, these things is being showed to him again and again. And guess what? He said in 28, hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cognition must trouble me, and my countenance change in me. But I kept the matter in my heart. When he said his cogitations, meaning his thoughts, his mind, it troubled him. He didn't understand what was being shown. See? So what it says, the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. Let's go grab this real quick. Let's go to this. Second Esdras. Second Esdras, around 12. Right? Let me see. Second Ezra 10 and 12. Like, there we go. Second Ezra 12 and verse 11. Now I start at 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. Now he finna give him understanding, but this is Ezra. And he says what? The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is a kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel, but it was not expounded unto him. Therefore, now I declare it unto thee. You see that? You see? You see? So going back to that 1 Corinthians 14 again, what it says, the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. See? So something that Daniel was told, he didn't fully understand what he was shown. But guess what? It was expounded into another prophet, Ezra. See? And that's the same way in these days and in these times now. When the Most High send, He going to send forth Israelites to you, because ultimately that's who the prophets are. And guess what? They're going to give you the understanding of things that the prophets of old wrote. They're the prophets of now that's going to give you the understanding of it. You see? So if somebody tell you, if you see if somebody run up on you and they tell you, and they tell you there's no more prophets or apostles, run away. If somebody run up on you and tell you ain't no more apostles, ain't no more prophets, run away. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Run away. You know. But let's go back. Let's get this real quick. Let's get these real quick. Let's go to 1 Timothy. Right? Because we heard Paul say that he was an apostle, right? Let's go to 1 Timothy, chapter 2, right? At verse 7. It says, whereunto I am ordained a preacher and an apostle. I speak the truth in my Mashiach, I lie not, a teacher of the what? Of the what? Gentiles? What Gentiles? Gentiles, other nations, Israelites, dumbass. In faith and verity. You see that? But when he said a teacher, let's grab this word teacher right quick. See, because you saw what it said pertaining to apostle. See, it meant teacher. Basically a head teacher, right? Let's grab the didaskalos. And it says what a teacher in the New Testament, one who teaches concerning the things of Yahweh and the duties of man. One is fit to teach or think himself so. The teacher of the Judaic ways, of those who by their great power as teachers draw crowds around them, i.e. John the Baptist, Yahushua, the preeminence. You get the point. You see what it says of the apostles of Paul. You get what it's talking. You see what it's saying. See? And it says what? Of those who in the religious assemblies of the Israelites undertook the work of teaching with the special assistance of the Holy Spirit. So you get it. You see? Now let's go to Peter. Now we know that Peter was one of the apostles. We know that. We know that for a fact. But let's just read it though. Peter 1:1. Peter, an apostle of Mashiach Yahushua, to the strangers scattered abroad throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia. But we know that, right? But let's go grab this one in Galatia. Let me see. Was that 1:19? Let's start at 18. Then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter, and abode with him 15 days. But other of the apostles saw I not, saw I none, but James, the Lord's brother. See? Now, but he said, the reason why I'm reading this because the individual said that John the last apostle. What are you talking about? Those that continued in the ministry to preach this truth, they was referred to as apostles. if you was teaching any of our people, you was referred to as an apostle. Barnabas, Timothy, any of those that was being a help unto the ministry to spread this truth, you was falling into the category of an apostle. Because you got disciple is what? A pupil. Somebody that's learning. And then you got what? The apostle, meaning somebody that's teaching. See? But you prefer to say, oh yeah, I'm a preacher, which ain't nothing wrong if that's what you choose to call yourself, say you're a preacher. But then how you gonna say the same thing pertaining to a preacher, but then you speaking against the word of somebody calling themselves an apostle? Okay, well, you could just say the same thing for them. If you see somebody walk up to you and talking about calling themselves a preacher, run away. Hey, these people are simple, man. Don't make no damn sense, man. Really don't, man. But who are they, though? Is they true teachers or is they false teachers? Is they true apostles or false apostles? Which one? Because he told me, matter of fact, let me read that one. Shit, my battery going dead and about to, let me just get this. Right? But when you go into this, what is that, Peter? Is that First Peter? Is that 2? Nope, 2 Peter 2. 2 Peter 2, and it says what? But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you. See? But so he's telling you, yeah, it was false prophets in times past, and it's going to be false prophets in these times. There was false teachers in times past, and guess what? It's going to be false teachers in these times. But you go into that word teacher, it should go back into the word didaskalos. So where it says pseudo-didaskalos, which means false didaskalos teachers. See, false messengers. See, and that 9 times out of 10, a lot of these people that's up in them pagan buildings, they are false messengers. Because if you ask them who is salvation for, they tell you it's for everybody. You're a false teacher. You are a false messenger. See? And then if somebody asks you something pertaining to prophecy, and then you tell them that's talking about the 7 years of tribulation, you are a false prophet. So how you gonna say it ain't no more prophets right now? And you got it's been taking place right now. You got the true prophets out here preaching the truth, and then you got false prophets that's telling lies. And you can't call yourself a prophet if you're going into the prophecies and you saying, oh, all of you preterism, all the prophecies have been fulfilled. You a false prophet. Because you ain't even a prophet, because you're saying all the prophecies has been fulfilled. So you ain't a prophet, you just a false teacher, you just a false messenger. See? And then if y'all try to read something in the prophecy, and then you say that it means something other than what it actually means, then you're going to the category as being a false prophet. So you can't say that ain't no more prophets. You got the true prophets out right now, and you got the false prophets out right now. You see? But let's grab this. Let's grab these real quick to show, because the individual said ain't no more prophets. that don't make any sense. How it ain't no more prophets? But he told you in the end time, this was gonna. Who you think gonna give you this understanding? See? Let's grab this one. I'm just gonna read a few. Right? I should grab that Revelation 6. Let me see real quick. Revelation 6. Right. Slock, yeah. Revelation 6 and verse 10. But let's start at 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Yahweh, holy and true, do thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? See, and then you see what he going to say. See, which this thing is going to take place again. Upon who? Upon the same the servants of old is going to take place against with the same servants of our times right now, which are Israelites. They going to have to go through the same thing that the prophets of old, that the servants of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, that the apostles of old, the prophets of old went through then. We're going to have to go through it now. See? But let's go to it. Revelations 16. And let me grab 6 right quick. Now, you know what time period this is in. Because when you go and read into the chapter, it's telling you what time period. See? And that's why when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, it also speak about the things you're supposed to be able to discern what time you in. By what? By the prophecies, by the things that was already written. And who go basically let you know what time you in? The prophets. Those that understand the prophecies. So in this time period right here, let's read it. It says, Revelation 16:1. And I heard a voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways and pour out your vials of wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first wind it poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a newsome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Now you know what time you in. You're in this time period now. But let's go down to verse 6 and see. And it says what? Starting at 5. And I heard the angel of the water say, Thou art righteous, O Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, which are and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus. For they have shed the blood of the saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. Wait a minute. It said of the saints and the prophets. See? Once again, it says what? Those that held the testimony. He said, until thy fellow brethren shall be killed as you were. But here it says pertaining to the prophets. So in this same time period, those that's going to reject the mark of the beast, don't you know that they when you pursue into Revelation 20 chapter, you're going to have prophets in this time. See? You're going to have prophets in this time that's going to sit back and they basically going to deny, they ain't going to go against Yahweh. Just like he had prophets of old, that when the Most High said what? I have reserved 7,000 men unto me, which shall not bow the knee to the image of Baal. Don't you know that those are the prophets of the Lord? Those, the elect, the apostles, the prophets of old, they back doing what? Same thing. They ain't going to bow the knee to Baal. Because what it says in old, it said Baal had 450 prophets. See? Wicked ass jakes that was basically prophesying falsely. Idol worshippers. See? And the Most High reserved to himself 7,000. They're just going into a complete number of men that's not going to do it. They going to worship him. And when it's pertaining to this time now with individuals that's not going to bow the knee to the image of Baal, we're not going to bow our knee to the image of the beast. We ain't going to receive that chip. And it's going to be what? The prophets out right now that's going to be telling you these things. So how it ain't no more prophets? Simple as hell. Let's grab this one in Revelations 11. In this same time period. Revelations 11. And let's go down to 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shall destroy them which destroy the earth. Don't you know this time about when Yahweh shall return? He's come to give, what he say? What is that, in Revelations 22? And he said, my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. You see? So highest prophets ain't gonna be around. Ain't no more prophets. Where it's telling you right here, it's gonna be prophets in the earth during that time, and the prophets are Israelites only. Ain't no Edomite prophets. If an Edomite is walking around the earth calling himself a prophet, he a false prophet. You see, ain't no prophet, no Moabite prophets, no Ammonite prophets, no Ishmael prophets. All the prophets are Israelites. You see, let's grab this one, Revelations 18. Let's go down to it. Revelations 18 and 20. Let's start at, matter of fact, let's start at 18. Revelation 18 and 18. Now we know this is talking what time period is talking about now. We in that time period. And we know this is talking about Babylon the Great. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And that's why this city is referred to as spiritual Nineveh too. Because when you go in there pertaining to Nineveh, Nineveh was called a great city. So that's why this is referred to as spiritual Babylon, spiritual Nineveh, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. You see it. And it says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. Wait a minute. He said, ain't no more apostles. John was the last apostle. But here is literally telling you that in the end time, is Yahweh going to send forth his apostles. He's going to send forth his prophets. For Yahweh had avenged you on her. You see that? So, hey man, these people through, man. Let's grab 24 too. And it says what? And in her was found the blood of the prophets and saints. In the who? Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. You see? So why would you be running around talking about there ain't no more apostles? Well, that just cut you right there. Why would you be saying there ain't no more prophets? Well, that just cut you right there. These people through. Let's get 19 too while we at it. Verse 1. And after these things I heard a great voice of much people in heaven. This is talking about once we received the elect, the Israelites, the elect Israelites received salvation. Not know all people. Saying, call, Lord Yahweh, salvation and glory and honor and power unto the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, our power. For true and righteous are his judgments. For he had judged the great whore. And who was that great whore? Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and had avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. You see that? Of his servants who? The apostles and prophets, Israelites. You see? But the individuals sitting back talking about they ain't no more apostles and no more prophets. Man, get out of here. Then he made another statement talking about the Most High ain't giving no more esoteric knowledge. What are you talking about? But that's why the most of our people didn't understand the things that Yahweh Shah was saying. Let me put this in here. This is why they didn't understand most of the things that Yahweh Shah was saying. See? Because Yahweh Shah was speaking concerning that esoteric knowledge. See? Let's get it real quick. What did he say? What is that? Matthew 13, I think. Right? Matthew 13. Let me read these two. Matthew 13 and verse 1 and 2. The same day went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on shore. So you see it's a multitude, right? But let's go down though, right? Verse 10. And the disciples came unto him and said unto him, Slakia, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Verse 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries. The what? The mysteries of the kingdom of Yahweh. But to them it is not given. Now let me punch up this word esoteric right quick. And it says esoteric. It says intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. And you see what it says, right? You heard what it says, right? It said a specialized, see, only a small number. Only a small number. Let me see what else is punch up. Let me see real quick. Let me see real quick. Just to look at something. Nothing else popped up. All right. Well, you see it. And then you're coming down and you see right here for the word secret. You see it says right there mysterious. And then it says secret for the word esoteric. Now let's go back to the text. Now, and what it says, let's read it again. Matthew 13:10. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Yahweh, Slakia, the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So wait a minute. So you see what it says for mysteries, right? Let's go into it. See? This thing ain't given to everybody. You see what it said for esoteric. So wait a minute. So Yahweh is speaking to you concerning esoteric knowledge, right? Slakia. Right? Yahweh is speaking concerning esoteric knowledge right here. Because he said that what? It ain't given to all. It's only for the initiated. Let's get it. Mysteries. Mysterion. And it says what? Hidden thing. Secret. Mystery. Generally mysteries. Religious secrets confided only to the initiated and not to ordinary mortals. I ain't even got to read no. And it says a hidden or secret thing not obvious to the understanding. You see that? And that's why these people will read stuff and they don't understand it. See? Because that esoteric knowledge of Yahweh Shem Shai, it has been not initiated to you. See? So a lot of the, and then, in fact, let's grab this one too. Colossians 1:26. And that same thing in there pertaining to the mysteries. 1:26. And it says, even the mysteries which have been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. What? His apostles, his prophets. You see? It ain't manifested. It says what? Even the mystery which have been hid from ages and from generations, but now has been made manifest to his saints. You see? All our people not to now you might be the saints of the Most High when it comes to all the other nations, but even among our people, every Israelite is not a saint. See? You got some you telling me a wicked ass 2/3 he a saint of the Most High? Hell fucking no, man. How could he? You telling these dope-fiend niggas that's walking around right now and shit, you telling me they saints? How? See? The saints is actually talking about those that it's Israelites, but it's talking about those who the Most High, who Yahweh Shem Yahushua is dealing with. Because you could just make a broad stroke with it and say, yeah, the saints are all Israelites. But it ain't talking about all Israelites. It's talking about the elect. They initiated by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You see? That's why when you go into scripture, it says those that are called to be saints. Now, if every single Israelite was a saint, well, they wouldn't have said that they are called to be saints. See? So it's talking about particular Israelites, right? And these mysteries. And you see, if I click it, it's going to go into that same thing. Mysterion. And I shouldn't even have clicked it. But you see what it says right there, Mysterion. I ain't even able to go and read it again. You see? And we already know who these mysteries is revealed to. See, it's only revealed to the Israelites. As a matter of fact, let's grab this in Deuteronomy first. Deuteronomy, right? 29 and 29. And it says what? The secret things belong unto the Lord, our power. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. So you see those secret things, those things that are hidden? See? It said revealed to who? It's only revealed to the Israelites, man. Those mysteries. You see? Matter of fact, let me grab this. Amos. Let's start at 2 first. Amos 2 and 11. And I raise up of your sons for prophets, and of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Yasharallah, said Yahweh? Chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth what? He revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So those of you that get it now, you can go into you understand the prophecies that's being written, and then even if you didn't understand the prophecies at first, but then those men that the Most High sent his prophets, when they teach these prophecies to you, you got individuals that either believe these prophecies, either believe what they're being taught by the prophets, and then they're going to also prophesy according to their belief, according to their faith. If you don't believe what's being brought out by the prophets, and therefore when you telling the same message, that makes you a prophet too, because you're believing in the prophets of the prophecies, the prophecies of the prophets of the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. But then you through too. Your ass through too. But if you believe these things, then guess what? You are also a prophet. Because bottom line, what a prophet is, it's just a messenger of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, to give the interpretation of the things that was only revealed to those that was in the secret chamber of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You see? But what it says right here, surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto the servants, the prophets. And who the prophets? Israelites. See? And let me grab this secret right quick. Let me see what it says. I know I can't remember if I went into that before. Nah, but yeah. Assad. And it says what? Council, assembly, council, familiar conversation, circle, friends, enemy, company, secret council, familiar converse, intimacy with Yahweh. See, meaning those individuals that's right in the immediate assembly of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You see? So these things, it's only for the initiated. Everybody ain't initiated. See? So these jakes don't get it. But hey, I done ran my mouth enough. But it's just to be a help and an aid to this truth, to spread this truth. And I'm going to end it off there, giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Shalom, Yasharallah.